Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Gozii. Today I'm going to be doing a top 5 list for the top 5 guardians or support gods in Smite. Um, as I've said before, I am a support main. It's definitely my best position and something that I feel most comfortable playing. So I wanted to talk about what I think are the top 5 gods in the meta at the moment. If you weren't aware, the meta is very tank focused right now. The main reason I say that is because of junglers and solo laners are building very tanky. Junglers, for instance, are building Void Shield, Height of the Urchin, Runic Shields, all these different like tanky kind of items. Um, and solo laners as well. Height of the Urchin is a very popular item, and I think it's probably the best tank item in the game, if not just one of the best items in general. And the reason for that is because it gives you so many different things. It gives you mana, it gives you health, it gives you protections, physical and magical, and the passive also makes you even more tanky. So it's a very strong item, and it's one of the reasons why we're kind of in this tank meta. So, of course, there aren't too many guardians out there. You can look at this pretty small list here. I kind of wish there were more. Of course, they came out with Fafnir and Terra recently, so they are getting some more guardians out there. But I do think that there should be a better choice. So with that, we'll start with the top 5. And my number 5 pick for best guardians in the game is Kumba. So Kumba is probably the best CC guardian in all of Smite. His Mez, I think at rank 5, is 3 seconds. I'm actually going to look to see. So yeah, at rank 5, the Mez is 3 seconds. Extremely strong. If you think about a Chunga ultimate, if you hit 3 people with the Chunga ultimate, that's 3 seconds. And Kuma gets that on his third ability, which he can get a whole lot, especially if you build cooldown. It's very strong. He also has a root. He also has, I think he has a slow on this. Nope, there is no slow on the one. I was wrong. The ultimate is another kind of CC ability. So he has so much going on. And of course, his passive just gives him more sustainability in lane. The reason I don't have him higher is because his lane clear is not particularly great. It's okay. It's not really something you have to worry about. But there are just better guardians as far as laning goes. But because of all of his CC, you can pretty much lock down a kill at level 5. If you have a good ADC with a Kumba ultimate, you can probably lock down a kill. And then late game, he just becomes this huge, annoying god to deal with. So that is my number 5 pick. I think he's strong. He could be strong in the solo lane if you build him correctly. But I wouldn't particularly put him in that spot unless you really, really want to play him. But just in general, Kumba's a very good guardian. I think he could be good on any team, maybe second, third pick. If it's a god that you play a lot, I think that you can continue to play him in this meta, and especially with the tank builds being as strong as they are at the moment, he's definitely a good pick. So that's number 5 on my list. Number 4 is going to be Sobek. So Sobek has been very strong throughout season 3, pretty much. His pull is very good in laning. Whenever I lane against a Sobek, I always get very, very nervous because I know one pull and I could be dead. So he's very good early. His lane clear is, again, okay. It's pretty good. He has some good damage. He has 2 lane clear abilities, which helps a lot. He also has a heal on his 3, which allows him to sustain even more. And his ultimate is very, very strong in team fights. Also does a whole lot of damage. If you look at the damage, it goes to 950 at rank 5, plus 80% of your magical power. So that's right there, one of the best support ultimates in the entire game by far. The only, I guess, weakness about him is he doesn't have the best peel in the world. His pull can be a little clunky in team fights, especially if, let's say, you're trying to use your pull to get someone out and you accidentally throw them towards a mage or an ADC. You might not position well with that ability, so you have to be careful with his pull in team fights. You have to know when to use it and where to throw the enemy. That's very big. Of course, if you're chasing after someone and you're able to pull them back, that's a good kill. But I think that's the biggest reason why he might not be a little higher, but he's still very good, very strong. You see him a lot in pro play. Hopefully in the fall split, you'll see a good amount of Sobek. I love Sobek. So very good pick. He's also just, got a lot of damage. So if you're in team fights, maybe you build Gem of ISO on him to make the slow on your abilities a little bit stronger. You could do that for sure. He can be a very aggressive god in team fights. So that is number 4, Sobek, my pick for number 4. Coming in at number 3, I think, is Khepri. Khepri kind of fell out a little bit, I think, because he's not super aggressive. He's like a very true support in that he stays back in team fights. Generally, he roots and pulls when he has to, but he's really there to pop his ultimate on anyone who's about to die. He also can give protections from his 2. His 2 is a very strong laning ability, but when it gets to team fights, it's not as good. Like, it's really kind of useless because it doesn't do enough damage. So I would always build Khepri full tank. Do not ever build damage because it's useless. His basic attacks don't do enough damage. His abduct doesn't do really much damage. It ranks up to 280, but it's not super strong. You can see the 2 does not do much damage at all, so that's really a laning ability. His root, again, not much damage. So build him very supporty, build him as tanky as possible. His passive is also good for giving a little bit of extra health to allies in the area. I would build AoE auras on him, so Sovereignty, Heartward Amulets, maybe Midgardian Mail to slow the attack speed of gods. And just always keep an eye out for the ultimate. Keep looking for players who are low health to pop the ultimate. His ultimate is very tricky. It doesn't cast immediately. It actually takes a little bit, maybe like 0.1 or 2 seconds to cast. So it's not like this immediate thing where you can just ult someone. And of course, as people have played Khepri more and more, he's been around for, I think, a year, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But people are pretty good at avoiding gods who have Khepri's ult on them. They know how to stop attacking them, how to stop their damage. That just comes, again, with time. When he first came out, people were very confused about his ultimate, so they would just keep attacking the person, not really thinking about it, and then the ultimate would pop off. So it's actually a little bit more difficult than it used to be. That being said, very strong laning, probably one of the best laning supports in the entire game as well with his 2 clear. He also can just lock people down with the root and pull a combo. So in general, just a very, very strong support, and that is why he is number 3. And then number 2, it's actually a little bit tough for me to choose between the 2 of these because I think they're both strong. I will put Bacchus at number 2. He was my number 1 for a long time, but I don't think he has enough laning presence in order to make him number 1. That being said, he's still super strong. The knock-up is great. He does so much damage with his ultimate, and the CC on his ultimate is very annoying to play against. Very great in team fights. He does use a lot of mana especially with his 1. His 1 is just a buff, so he can just use it constantly. So you really have to be careful with the mana management on Bacchus, especially early game. So that being said, I think building Hide of the Urchin for the extra mana is great. I think Breastplate of Valor for the mana and the cooldown is also very strong. Maybe another mana item after that is a pretty good idea to if you're going to be playing Bacchus. But again, it's really the damage, the fact that he's super aggressive, he can confirm kills with his ultimates, was very, very strong in all facets of the game. So if you're playing supports, definitely be playing some Bacchus right now. He's absolutely in the meta. And then, of course, number 1, she was my number 2 for a while, but Athena will always be at the 1 or 2 spot. I think she is still the strongest Guardian with her taunt. Her global ultimate, the 3 does a lot of damage, and the 1 is a good escape. It's also a good initiator, and her combo is probably the strongest combo in the game. It's actually a very simple combo too. It's something that you can just keep doing, and you don't really have to think much when you play Athena. At least I don't. Once you know what the combo is and you get that down, then you can just play Athena and wreck with her. She's not too hard either, so she's pretty easy. Can just lock down an entire team with her taunt. If you can get the enemy team to group up together and taunt all 5 of them, like, that's awesome. And then her ult allows her to be anywhere she wants if she needs to be. She can just have a global gank. So right now, you're actually seeing some people play Athena jungle, and I think that's because of Wrath, the relic. They buff that, so that is a better jungle clear active or relic to have. So she's viable in the jungle. I wouldn't pick her in the jungle in Conquest because they're just better junglers out there. But if you want to, if it's your style, then absolutely go for it. And especially if, let's say, you have a Guan Yu support, a physical support, it makes sense to have a magical jungler. So you can definitely try that out. So that is it. That is my top 5. Let me know what you think about it. If you have any other opinions, please let me know. But I thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great day.